didn't have anything else set up. I could see it from all the way down there, and I thought it was a person. And I stood there for like 5 minutes, and I was like, why is he standing like that? And I thought it was like a smooth criminal. I thought somebody was giving us like a Michael Jackson impression, and then it was a mannequin. I was really embarrassed to admit that. Oh my God, that's a lot of people. Hold on, let's go over this window. Let's go over this window. It just keeps going. There's so many people outside. There are so many people outside. We're gonna interview people when they come in. I don't really want to go outside. It looks like it's gonna rain, and this suit is new. So, oh, there's Doc Haskell. Hi, Doc. How are you? He brings a full notebook with him and like writes notes down. It was pretty insane. He had it yesterday. He's going to be coming through this metal detector right here. I don't know his name though, but I recognize his hair.
Jen.
You're Jen? All right, we're going to interview Jen, who's supporting Kennesaw. I'm going to ask you like a couple of very simple questions. Okay. Are we ready? All right, great. College. I really like Georgia College's color scheme. It's just red, white, and blue, I think, but I think they did it in a really clever way. Mineral area wearing hoodies, even though it is 75 degrees outside here in Atlanta, Georgia. Absolute legends.
If only Nick could hear you. Nick, come back.
If he's over 100 feet away, he can't.
You were whispering something, and he started smiling. I'm like, are you whispering?
Oh yeah, because he's got his headphone in if we're close enough. But
Bless you.
Gesundheit. Gesundheit again. You're welcome. I'm gonna go find him. Oh, there he is. Oh my. Oh, okay. Real stuff is starting. Real stuff. Competitive integrity needs to be upheld. We gotta get out of here. Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. I get really embarrassed when I get yelled at.
30 is
Okay. Wow, it's not 10:30 yet.
It's only barely 10.
Woo! All right, it's gonna be a long. Hey, what's up? Surprise interview. Join me over here. We have a cool backdrop. What are we here for?
Rocket League.
Awesome. I'm not going to ask what school you go to because unless you swapped hoodies, that seems pretty clear.
No, you know, I got my jersey on with my name on it.
Oh, you do? Show us your jersey. Look at John T. Turbo here.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
not his name. I just keep calling him that.
Yeah.
His name is John, but
My name is John Turbesi.
yeah,
That's
not
my
John T. Turbo.
name. Yeah, I get the message that I'm going to Nebraska where I met you.
Oh, that's so crazy. So context, if we're probably never going to use this, but we're going to talk about it. Turbo and I met at a LAN like over a year ago. That's so crazy. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. I am Seb Dillons, joined by a man I have interviewed probably well over 10 times. It's going to be my good friend Neb, here from Bay State Overwatch team. Neb looked at me before he started his last series, and he said, "We are not dropping a map for the rest of the day." And so far, he has lived up to that title. But Neb, is there anybody you're thinking, we've got to get them out of the way, we've got to take them down?
No.
No? Just looking at it, each fight's its own, every game, going into it, just taking it as it comes?
I have the confidence right now that we're not going to drop a single map.
I love Neb because not only is he confident, but he's correct. Bay State is one of the best Overwatch teams I've ever seen. So it's always good to hear. I love the confidence, and I love Bay State, so I hope they do a great job this weekend. So what qualifier, did you win a qualifier to get here?
At-large bid.
We're looking at Rocket League, we're thinking high odds, low odds, where do we think we're walking away?
I think pretty high. I think we're doing pretty good.
Is there anybody that you're looking at, you're like, please do not let us go up against them unless we absolutely have to?
I mean, really, everybody's good competition, so.
And sorry, what was your name?
Ethan.
Ethan from Mineral Area.
Yep.
Very exciting. Well, Ethan, good luck.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. What kind of pass? A player pass?
Hello and welcome, esports fans. We are here. We are live. Little Overwatch action coming at you. A little esports U action here today. I'm FBI Tug Bum here with my man Chef Billy. Chef Billy with a fine little background right there. I just got to see that one.
I like it. It's Colosseo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't necessarily like the map, but I like the I like the visuals of it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Hey, you may want to get out of the road there because you're like right smack dab in the middle, right?
Oh, watch out! Oh no!
I love it. I love it. Speaking of Colosseo, right? Little Overwatch action here on the docket today. Last week, regular season, week 6 coming in here, Chef Billy.
Yep, we've got Florida Gateway College going up against Iowa Central Tritons, the Timberwolves of Florida Gateway College, coming in 4-1 here in the season. They had a bye a couple weeks ago, they had a bye last week, so they had a chance to rest up and maybe get used to this new patch. Iowa Central coming in off of their first map loss of the season last week, so maybe we'll have a little bit of a competitive series, looking at, the head-to-heads, kind of who they faced against each other. Florida Gateway College losing to, and I want to make sure of the team that I say here because I'm blind at times. Western Technical College.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so they lost 0-3 to them, and Iowa Central ended up winning that 3-0. So is that a precursor of what's about to happen? It's just going to depend on, honestly, do the teams run the Kiriko? Kiriko right now is in such a great spot. If you're running with the Lucio, you have a ton of sustain. I've seen the Roadhog pop up into a lot of my collegiate matches here, and in some contenders matches. It came over from Korea. Korea was the first place to do it. It's kind of filtered its way here into the NA Open Divisions scene, and now it's made its way here into the collegiate scene as well. Red Bird Esports very famously doing that in their grand final match last Sunday. So, I mean, Nepal's going to be up first. You can run a hog here. I would rather see Winston, honestly, being run at least on Shrine and Village. If you go to Sanctum, do you risk running the hog there? I say yes, because why not? It's the last week of the season. They're both guaranteed into the playoffs right now, so go out with a bang, try something new, and we'll see what we got going on.
Yeah, and plus, hog is just fun on Sanctum, okay, people? And that's the whole point here. That's what we're doing. It can be both competitive and fun, and that is what is important. Debussy Wussy for Iowa Central over on the Symmetry here. Other than that, we don't really have that much of a mirror composition by any means. I guess we have Sojourns on both sides and the Kiriko on both sides. Opting to actually take this fight a little bit closer is Florida Gateway right now, as Jesser going to be firing a little bit farther away right now, and there's the full redirect on inside. Florida Gateway strike first. Slothy takes one as well, and yeah, you take down the huge source of damage that is Sojourn. Take that down with the Symmetra as well. That's going to be a good game. Respawn, regroup, figure out what you did wrong.
I mean, this is kind of a weird composition. What exactly are you trying to do here if you're Iowa Central running with the Symmetry? You're running into a Winston. This is actually the meta comp right now. I mean, they're running full meta right now. So, like I said, ton of sustain. You're looking for a little extra DPS action out of the Moira from Iowa Central. I see what they're trying to do. But with these Symmetra turrets going up, the Tesla cannon, the Tickle cannon just takes them down in a hurry.
Okay, well, that's might be the opening that Iowa Central needs. Jetone. Sigma right here finding a lot. Now kind of left out in the lurch is the Goku Baka trying to get aggressive right here. Now having a shadow step all the way back. Jared falls. Here comes the Sigma ult early, and Iowa Central holds on. Love to see it. They'll be taking this point in just a second here, Chef.
I'm shocked that the Gravitic Flux actually works there, especially when Beat was online and they actually let loose with it. That should not have worked, but it did, because I mean, you're just looking at the penetration power of the Symmetra there, just burning down shields and just going burr with the microwave beam. So, I mean, you know, you've got Coalescence to keep you up through this first fight. It's all about how do they decide to use this Kitsune Rush. Oh my god, Bandit gets blown up.
Wow, yeah, so Jetone actually doing exactly what a Sigma player needs to do right here, right? I think both of us were fairly kind of inquisitive about this composition, but it seems like the Sigma is really working. Iowa Central has only used one ultimate so far, and they've handedly won the past two team fights.
Well, I think that the matter here is, how do you get on top of the Sigma? I think that you've got to get your Winston bubble over the top of the Sigma, and not allow him to have any kind of fun, and just bury any kind of resources going into him. I mean, Lucio right now is just throwing. I mean, absolutely feeding his head off.
Not 100% sure what the idea was there. Eagles, Mo, and a entire gang of Florida Gateway members find the kill at Central on that one. And then, okay, and so then Florida Gateway decides to do the least optimal thing possible and drop 3/4 of the players who are left. What is going on here, Chef Billy? Is it just Friday? Is everyone antsy?
I mean, it could be. You've got to engage. You've got to engage on Kiriko Rush right now. You've got to build up the Goku Baka to this Death Blossom. This is going to do it right here. This should be a one fight.
There you go. There's the Sojourn ult here up front. Florida Gateway. That's Jesser finding it. It's Goku Baka right there. Florida Gateway comes striking back. Even if they take this all the way, though, this will be an 89 to 100% map, Chef Billy.
Wait. We dropped the Death Blossom as well.
Not sure what that was about.
What I mean, you had the Kiriko Rush. You got double speed on those Hellfire shotguns. It's almost like a mini Death Blossom going in there. So now you're going to face your own Kiriko Rush here. This is going to be scary work.
There you go, Eagles. Trying to get their team to fly high. That's Shiro on the first. That's going to be Shiro on the second as well, taking out their counterpart. Some action on the other, and Florida Gateway has nothing but this Primal Rage. Jetone putting them down easily there, 10%. Might see one of these players able to touch, but I don't see an honest hold otherwise.
Nah, I mean, if Bandit gets a touch, it's going to be very lucky.
Yeah, so 79 to 100 is going to be our map number one. I got to say, just coming out and just looking at compositions, I did not see this being that even-handed.
No. No, I mean Sigma is not in a bad spot right now. Okay, so if you're looking at the battle of off tanks right now, which do you go with? Do you go with the Hog? Do you go with the Diva? Do you go with the Sigma?
That's
Right now, Sigma's actually leading the charge, especially with the patch that just came through with the timing of the bubbles, the extended cooldown on the bubbles. So Zarya goes out of favor immediately because of that. Sigma has been in a pretty good spot since Overwatch 2 came out. They haven't adjusted him whatsoever. And yeah, it looks like we're looking for a pause here from Icelothy, the tank player for Florida Gateway, as they might be having a bit of a tech issue. Well, I don't know if tech issue is the issue here. I think that they never collapsed on top of Jetone. The Sigma player, I mean, you've got a Winston bubble, yes, it's only 600 HP, but if you're not dealing with it and cutting them off with the resources, even for the limited amount of time, you pull the cooldowns out of them, you pull the kinetic rest, you pull the accretion disc out of him, and you are able to just completely melt the Sigma down. Then you rush everybody in the backline. Also, I'm looking for Reaper. I mean, Reaper needs to get into the backline and deal with the support core of Iowa Central. But we saw a frontline Reaper. Yeah, that works most of the time, but if you're getting that diffed in the DPS department, especially when Symmetra goes burr, you've got to figure out more creative ways to get around it. I haven't seen a Symmetra in competitive play since Overwatch 1.
Like, seriously,
other than
like,
getting people out of spawn.
Exactly.
That's about it.
exactly.
So even a Tracer, if you've got Tracer in the wheelhouse right now, that would make Moira's life hell. I mean, and Kiriko would have to, immediately use the Swift Step to get away. Swift Step to get away. The other thing that I saw out of Iowa Central, if I'm being honest, is that the Suzu usage was absolutely just spot on. I mean, you waiting for impactful pushes coming from Florida Central and Florida Gateway, and they absolutely laid it in. I liked Eagles on the Kiriko, but now they're going to go with a little more speed here. So Slothy going to the Reinhardt, Jordan, and I tell you what, this is kind of wonky for me.
This is very wonky. This is very, very wonky. Junkrat, even post-nerf, Goku Baka's opting for it. Bandit falling yet again. We talked about DPS differentials here. I think we're going to have to start talking about the Lucio differentials here. We're seeing Lucio in both of these compositions for a solid reason. Obviously, speed boost and Sanctum here with the boop capabilities. But there is just not much of an excuse for an incredibly mobile character to always be falling first.
Nope. I mean, it's just a lack of focus as you approach the point, and now they've got escort options. Now the big thing is that teleporter is not just going to sit there permanently. It actually dissipates after about 6 seconds, so you have to get the usage out of it and then wait for that 10-second cooldown to come back. So the Symmetra teleporter has now not really gotten the same usage as it used to before. But I mean, Slothy right now, running on this Reinhardt, what are you trying to do? You have to close the distance. You've got CC, you've got the turrets. I mean, you've got everything going on. Your shield's going to be just a hindrance to you.
Yeah, wow, the charge still finding one on the in, but Shiro falling. Here comes the Gravitic Flux, and that's going to be enough. Wow, Iowa Central once again purchases a full team fight win off the back of a very, very early earned tank ultimate with Jetone. Now is Jared going to be able to... Yeah, Jared does get away right here, so not going to add to that, but Jetone's still up to about 28%. That's not too shabby, Chef.
I mean, you're looking to nano engage with the Reinhardt, I guess, is what we're looking for. But I mean, still, you've got shields, you've got barriers, you've got CC going in. There's too much to go on for Reinhardt here.
Yeah, there's just so much to get through right here, and only 1,200 shields with which to do it. Once again, feeling like a broken record here, people. The Lucio falls first. Hate to see it. Slothy now going to be the second one right there. A well-placed Symmetra wall is going to negate any sort of advantage that a Junkrat would have. Okay, it's just Friday. They want all or nothing. They want all of the smoke here, Chef. And both teams, by the way, like they just want everything.
Like you had the nano available with your Reinhardt on point. 93% in counting. This is it. This is done.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It's just gonna be one of those. AKA. Yeah. I like it. I like it. The Bastion, obviously, quantifiably, categorically different in Overwatch 2, right?
Yes.
Fun little gimmick, fun little glitch when the game first comes out that allows Bastion to just Pepper. Those artillery strikes everywhere. That gets fixed. Now in a decent spot. I'm not gonna lie, I am surprised that it worked so efficiently here, particularly that last ultimate.
I don't want to talk about it now. I mean, I've seen Bastion come out, especially on like Esperanza. The new push map that's come out actually gets a lot of value, and he doesn't just stay in the turret form indefinitely. There's a timer on that as well, and then there's a cooldown to go back into the turret form. The big thing is that the artillery strike that you have in the neutral, not the ultimate, that does an F ton of damage to a squishy target. It takes you down to about 50 HP. If you're a 150, 200 HP target, you land that little sticky bomb, I want to call it, almost like a little depth charge that goes out there.
Yep.
That lands onto a squishy, and you got the follow-up fire behind that. That is an insta-kill, and that's an instant 5v4 for your team. Also, running the Reinhardt into that, I mean, you have big rectangle, man. Just a couple of seconds of focus fire onto that shield, and you are basically a very tall German with a hammer and a charge, and there's
a lot to be said for that, but you don't have a shield.
No, that's where the Sigma works a lot better. That's where running a Hanzo, if you guys are gonna go off meta, that's where the Hanzo would come in to be able to poke from range. And be able to deal with the Bastion. And we've got fire trucks going past my house, so sorry about that.
All good.
But, I mean, they just didn't adapt very well to what Iowa Central was slinging as far as their game hash today. Mm-hmm. And they're going to have to really make some fundamental changes as to what they want to run here. If they're going to continue to run the Sigma, you've got to counter it with a Sigma of your own, or get in there with a Zarya. Because Zarya is the one character that cannot be phased by a Sigma other than taking a rock to the face.
Yes, rocks to the face are never going to feel good here. Colosseo coming up next. Chef Billy giving you guys a little preview background right there. But I couldn't agree more there, Chef. At the end of the day, this is Overwatch, and just pulling mirror compositions is not a bad idea. Like wonky picks with the Bastion, wonky picks with the Sim. Okay, that's awesome. But eventually, and I'm not necessarily saying mirror that, but at the end of the day, everybody knows what was just played on playoffs. Like what was like 94.5% of the time. We saw a little bit of Orisa on defense, and that was the Kiriko, that was Lucio, that was the Winston, that was the Reaper, that was the Sojourn, aka. Don't listen to me, just look at Florida Gateway. This looks to be like a little bit of a readjustment here in map number 2. Colosseo coming up with the push. Now, you mentioned some mixed feelings about this map. Hit me with some more.
Okay, so it's completely linear. I mean, looking at where you can actually make sneak plays coming in onto the point or from, the flanks, it's very visual. You can't really get in there. You can't use the Reaper to their full potential here. This is why you generally will run a Tracer here. Or if you're feeling froggy, you might run the Cassidy. We've seen that happen quite a few times. Mm-hmm. But Overwatch League, 100% Lucio pick rate.
Yep.
Lucio is meta right now for every single composition. No ands, no buts, full send.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what Bandit's doing.
What I as a Lucio main myself, your first statement there makes my heart happy. 100% pick rate. The kill feed, however, speaks a much different story. I am not 100% sure what it is that Bandits mostly, but Eagles as well, is doing to always fall first in these team fights. When you're talking about spread attention when it comes to healing and increasing the speed of everybody else, which no one else can really do outside the Kitsune Rush, you just can't allow this to happen over and over and over again. Regardless.
Nope.
For that reason, Iowa Central going to be pushing on along here. And this is just such crucial times. Obviously, Colosseo push. This will go back and forth a lot, but even getting to this first corner is going to be big. Slothy, it's going to be Iowa Central trying to punish for the aggression right here.
Wow.
Okay, so Bandits didn't fall first this time, Chef. Stop giving them the business. It was Slothy that technically fell first on this.
No, I'm giving him the business. I'm giving Slothy the business too, because you had a Reinhardt swinging his hammer behind him. You never turned to engage him. So, I mean, this is a massive push forward, especially with that Symmetra teleporter being able to relocate yourself so quickly. They're going to opt into the Reinhardt mirror here. So maybe they're looking for a little bit more frontline engagement, especially with the Junkrat.
Yep.
That should be able to blow some stuff up, but you just can't go in all willy-nilly. You actually have to figure out how to run and kite away from the damage.
You're going to entirely glowing Iowa Central squad as Shiro finding one with their ultimate. Bandit on over to the Zenyatta right here, but unfortunately not much more prominence with it. Pop
Yeah.
play, and that's why they always tell Sojourns never, ever, ever do that slide and jump. It puts you in a very predictable position, right? Like at the apex
It
of the
does.
jump or the slide or the jump after slide.
The real fun thing is when, you're right. But the real fun thing is when you see a Winston pop the Primal Rage and put people in the air. It's almost like a skeet shoot. It's almost like a skeet shoot if you have the overclock ready to go.
Yep.
Pull, pow,
Yep.
done.
Easy peasy. It's so interesting, right? Because the Winston's so frequently used to jump on top of these Sojourns and kind of at least dislodge them from position, if not the full juggle with Primal. But a little bit of pushback attempted here for Florida Gateway. Iowa Central able to take map number 1 in not an entirely one-handed fashion. Map 1 was 89 to 100. What a charge! And I believe that was Jatone. That was Jatone. So maybe the play of the day. You realize what happened there, right?
Yep, he stopped. He canceled his charge right at the edge of the wall there, and now it's just going to move forward and just take care of everybody moving forward. I mean, this is a done map. We've already crossed the 90-meter mark. I didn't even get a chance to bring that little snippet out. Is once you get to a 90-meter mark, you can just disengage every time you lose a member and just come back as a full 5, and you're never going to lose this map. So unless there's some kind of massive change, unless this tire gets a supreme amount of damage and they get 4 people on the payload to be able to push forward, this is done.
Okay, a nice charge there at the end, but once again, Bandits getting punished for their aggression right here. This is not a position that I envy of Slothy. Here comes the tire, not going to find it after the sound barrier on the other side. But a very good point
Oh,
here.
my lord.
That there's the double shatter. That's always going to happen when you're a Reinhardt and you see a Reinhardt charging away from you, friend. As it is, you are 100% right on the disengage on forward. That is another advantage of having the Lucio, right? Taxis always.
Yes, taxis always, and I mean, this is one of the fastest completions that's going to come through here for this squad. I mean, the coalescence there just to keep Jodo actually gets blasted out by Jesser on the Sojourn, but I don't know if there's enough time and space. No, it doesn't matter. It's done.
Yeah, Tank falling on the other side. Goku Baka trying to get aggressive. Slothy getting super, super low right there. It's the last little bit, and there's the AoE damage from Sojourn. Shiro finishes this one on a 15-player kill streak here, Chef Billy.
I mean, this is a team diff. There's no other way to put it. I'm looking for some changes to come out from Florida Gateway. You haven't dealt with Badussi Wussi
Yep. That was
on the Symmetra.
right there, yeah.
That's where, that's just sick. Yep. It was telegraphed too. That's the other unfortunate part for them. But I mean, you haven't dealt with a Symmetra, and typically and historically, Winston deals with a Symmetra just fine. Yep. It's the fact that Slothy is going in alone and doesn't have the resources coming into him to help take care of the turrets, help burst down those squishy targets. Symmetra is only a 200 HP target, so I mean, you should be able to blast that down relatively quickly, but nobody's going in with the tank. I want to say main tank so bad, but it's just I mean, nobody's going in, and I still have some leftovers from Overwatch 1.
I hear you.
But I mean, the counter picks. I mean, the Junkrat, that tire should have landed at least 3, but it was predictable once again. In its pathing towards the enemy team, I would have taken it under the bridge and gone around the back of the point and just tried to get the support out, because that's why Jatone can just stand there and swing with impunity, because the support is just top notch for Iowa Central. So the Tritons looking very strong here. 2-0 is their lead so far.
Yeah, and also, right, that's the bad part about Barrier. You drop it, 1,000 when it first hits, and it goes away like that. Tire goes around the back. The sheer sound, the audio cues, right, from the tires is enough to strike fear in the hearts of many different players. And you just simply wait out Barrier. It's one of the worst feels bad in Overwatch, right? Oh well. We'll be looking at map number 3 here in just a minute. Chef, do you have anything else for the good people before we go to a very short break?
Please change up your tank line. Florida Gateway, please change up. Go Zarya, go Sigma, go Hog. Do something to disrupt. That's all I'm asking.
We haven't seen the Hog yet. Actually, haven't we? Talked about that plenty in Sanctum. At least on paper, at least in my quick play games, you always see a Hog on Sanctum. But yes, back after a very short break, guys.
No, you actually have to tape it to your chest, really awkwardly with masking tape, and it's gonna fall off. Yeah, it's gonna be uncomfortable, I promise. That's a guarantee. Okay, cut that, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, good. I'm great, everything's good.
Who do we interview? Who should we interview?
I don't know, I'm just here. I need caffeine.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big.
Hey guys, K-Tad here, and welcome back to another ECAC Top Plays of the Week video. Now, normally I know we like to switch the hosts out every week, and I know there's a roster that we want to bring up to you guys, and don't worry, we've got that coming with some returning faces from last season, as well as hopefully some new ones this time out. But again, you guys got me for one more week, it'll be okay, I'll see you guys at the end anyways. Now, in any case, as per the usual, we've got a bunch of incredible collegiate esports action coming at you, with some of the coverage brought to you in partnership by Esports U. So, huge shout out to them. But, I know you guys don't want to hear me talk about it anymore. It's okay. Let's just jump straight into the action. Here you go. Starting us off this week, we've got Gorilla as he power slams the ball into the net.
Don't have a goal to show for it. It means almost nothing, especially when Grand Valley has a response like that. Gorilla solo play, and how do they get this with power?
At number 7, it's a play of the game from Shiz that has him jumping fearlessly into the enemy team to secure the second map for Savannah College.
So rare to see these, especially in a map like this one, where there's a lot of potential opportunities, but that means willing to make a complete change if necessary, and we didn't really see that for the side of.
Shh. We've got to be a bit sneaky here, as Matthew's got the huge flank to get the 3K and secure the round.
That's a massive frag. They know Jet is heaven. Smokes are going to come down. Bomb is down in that corner of heaven. And now Nova's in a very tricky situation. She's going to ult out. Doesn't have a great amount of visibility as she plays back now. Oh, Matthew with a 3K. That round itself was on the brink of defeat for LC.
Don't get turned around here, as his Spaniard pulls the will over Michael's eyes to send him right off the stage.
This is a very dangerous opportunity here. We're gonna see.
Looking for the guard, a beautiful sky smash, and I mean, no, what a beautiful reflector! Stopping the recovery from being able to come back on, forcing this into one sock, and we've seen what his
In our top half, it's Mr. Nene as he whips and does the dance with 3 different members of LIU to clutch up the round.
He's the last alive, granted. He's got a Vandal. He makes the trade. Now a one-on-one. Can he find it? Doesn't have the intel. If he does heaven, he might understand that he's hell. First shock dart will come out. He knows he's there now. First shot's coming out. He still doesn't have all the intel. He looks to peek.
He gets the kill.
Third kill, Mr. Nene. Gonna close out that round for LC.
You can never count out James Madison so long as Impulse is lurking in the wings with this crazy Death Blossom.
Going to deny the Deadeye. Unfortunately, they just missed the timing on that defense matrix. And now Georgia State once again in control here. Oh, but Impulse comes in.
Beautiful
with
ultimate
the Death
from
Blossom.
Including the hack from Sombra to get a wrist.
In our runner-up, Bryce, in a disadvantage, finds a way to just dunk on pace to take St. Joseph's to the final series.
What a play there. Great usage of that Gordo. We've seen it be so effective thus far. Bryce really wants to take this to game number 3. Great, wow, roll. Oh, great usage.
I can't even believe that we were not believing in this DDD.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah, I take it all back.
This is exactly the pick they needed.
Oh man, huge. Oh my goodness, this is massive.
He could win this right here.
Oh, he spikes him! Oh, Bryce!
And at number 1, it's Captain Insano off the top rope to suplex Grand Valley onto the mat.
Oh my word, more than just a chance. They're going to give themselves a goal. Monstrous.
And welcome back. The NJCAAE Week 6 continues now on map point, on match point, on everything in between here, Chef Billy, for the side of the Florida Gateway College. That's the Timberwolves here on the left side. It's been a rough map 1 and map 2, my friend.
Well, Badussi Wussi has not been taken care of on the Symmetra. Able to really shift their team around quite handily, getting those turrets in to slow people down, and then you see the follow-through coming through from the rest of the team. You know, we were talking in the break about tanks, and I hope to God they don't bring a Doomfist or a Wrecking Ball out here. Honestly, something's got to change here for Florida Gateway. Maybe running the Hog, maybe have a little bit of self-sustainability with the Hog, especially if you're going to keep running the Kitsune or the Kiriko, because the Kitsune Rush plus Roadhog is one of the scariest ultimates in this game. It amplifies the speed of the whole Hog twice. And everybody else has the halftime cooldowns, so you can throw Suzu like 3 times in the duration of a Kitsune Rush. So, I mean, I don't hate this. I actually don't hate this. Orisa, my girl, my main is actually at a really good spot right now. We've seen it a lot in Korea. We saw it happen over the weekend in Open Division, encountering a Roadhog or a very aggressive tank coming in. Also looking, you know, the Javelin Spear, being able to pin somebody out and take them out of position, that's a plus. The other plus that I'm looking for is the Javelin Spin to negate damage coming in and be able to push people back.
Yeah, and the big one looking on that side would be against Shiro, be against Jetone. As far as Florida Gateway, you will never find me complaining about a speed-boosted May. Right to point, getting right to it, not wasting any time so far. Back and forth.
Oh God, there it is again.
It's still map 1 and map 2 problems. Jarrett, nice fade out of the way as Jetone looking to get hyper aggressive, but I think we can see that one coming in. No, Jetone. Okay. Hopping on top of that one is once the Islothy tank does fall, that's going to be enough. Iowa Central going to be granted 0.1 after a little bit of back and forth.
I mean, first pick potential is something that I've been really keying in on the higher level of competition going on here with the with these squads here in competitive Overwatch, and Sojourn has the best first pick potential. If you take anybody out, like I said, it's an immediate 4v5, and you win those.
It's a weird little cornering action. No, you don't normally see a Reinhardt put into a corner, right?
Nobody puts Reinhardt in a corner.
There it is. There it is. Thank you, Chef. Thank you. Iowa Central right up here, and Jetone already up to about 85%. Those fire strikes in no small part thanks to that Javelin Spear right to the face right there. But there is the Shatter, and this is going to be the issue with running Orisa against the Reinhardt. There's that charge in. Bandit has changed on over to the Mercy, but again, first pick potential.
Nope.
That is Shiro, and that is the Sojourn.
And that is going to be point 2. Point B is done and dusted, especially with the pursuit that's coming out from Jetone. Not going to allow anybody to get out. And, you know, they've got resources. I mean, this is going to be free push right now. Jetone, smartly using the charge to get themselves back out and just going to hold outside Foundry here. Symmetra's Photon Barrier. I mean, what do you use it against? I mean, you're looking maybe to go up against this overclock. Maybe.
Yeah, that's actually pretty much it. If you get it down really, really well, I guess you could section out Islothi's ultimate, but different heroes, same story. Guys, we're not trying to be too critical here, but when we see mistakes happen, we would not be doing our jobs if we didn't point it out. Bandits unfortunately falling yet again. Florida Gateway is left without any source of healing after Jarrett doth fall. Just outside, point number 2, and that's going to be in a lot of extra time for Iowa Central.
5:30 on the clock as they enter the Foundry here, and I mean, you only use the overclock there from Florida Gateway, so they don't have that impactful ultimate coming through. And now you're looking at, you know, the sound barrier to keep you up through the blizzard. You're also going to be able to probably use this photon barrier to really negate any more damage coming in on top of that.
Speaking of negating damage, best block is simply not
there
to
it
be
is.
there as the Symmetra comes out. There's the Orisa ultimate on the other side. Throw a May Blizzard as well, changing the weather out here. Shiro finds a nice shot. Bandits falling yet again first after the Blizzard does come in. Jester in the back just getting absolutely swarmed, completely out of position, and Florida Gateway's big source of damage does to get negated. Back and forth though, Florida's still holding on to this point. Hasn't let it move in a little while, but after the May falls, I'm not sure how much longer they'll be able to keep this one up.
Yep, I mean, you've got Shatter here basically to hold any kind of coming out of their point. Oh my god, Jetone is just done.
Wow, and Jetone should be punished for this. Like, I mean, there's 3 different players right here. Should be punished for this every day, twice on a Friday. Okay,
there it is.
Yeah, so Goku Baka realizing that, hey, we need to Reaper up close and personal, and Slothy finally makes the change on over to Zarya. Is this the hold that we've been looking for?
This could be the hold that we're looking for. I mean, really, you just want to batter down Jetone's shield. I'm trying to theory craft here about what the best course of action here is for them. Still got to deal with Badussi Wessie on this semester. They have not dealt with this gamer all day long.
Jester from the top rope, charge up. No shots actually land. Gonna be a little bit of damage on the other side, but meanwhile, while Jester is actually getting through their ultimate, Shiro still finding heads right here.
Wow.
Still, yeah, just literally like sliding and finding shots. That's gonna be a full TK, the first one in a while, and that probably is gonna be enough for Iowa Central to punch the ticket. Yes, 3 minutes and 26 seconds, people. 3 minutes, 26 seconds are gonna be the reward here for taking Iowa Central all the way. Took it all the way right here, Chef.
I mean, 3:30. 3:26 on the clock. I mean, that's a pretty damn substantial time bank. I'm looking for Florida Gateway. The question is, do they even get first point? Based upon what we've seen so far. Token resistance has gone through here from Florida Gateway. They haven't dealt with Jetone being hyper aggressive on the Reinhardt. And I mean, Eagles has absolutely enabled the Reinhardt to just really go in and not have any consequences. There's been no risk to the reward play of their tank.
I 100% agree. There you go. That's what I was looking for, Jester. Maybe a little bit of a counter pick here against the, at least supposed, Sojourn. Of course, this is King's Row. Putting a Widow up top initially is never going to be a bad idea. Going to be looking at Turret Central over for Iowa Central, though. Got the Torbjorn and the Symmetro.
Well, I tell you what, they're going with the builder comp here, and I mean, it's meant to stall and slow. So, really, it's going to be awkward coming in for Iowa Central. This is going to be a really distinctive hold here. They do be doing a little bit of trolling, and Jetone, I mean, with the Sigma, going to be able to eat all this damage coming in. Okay, well, I tell you what, this has been weird. They're more concerned about the turret rather than killing people, and Shiro's not having that issue right now, like picking up 2. So probably will pick up number 3 right here.
It's a matter of honor, Chef. It's a matter of honor. You must take out turret first. Dying to a turret is just it's just a worse feeling, right?
I don't know. I'd rather.
I don't know.
I don't know about that one, Chief. I'd rather be dealing with people on the point rather than worrying about the turret. You can take the turret down later on, or let one of your supports get some glory in taking the turret down. Okay, so looking at the first approach, not necessarily good, and you're not enabling your Zarya to keep that high charge up, especially with the extended time that you have going on. Oh my God! In the back? Are you kidding me?
That's okay. Different positioning, everything else still the same result, unfortunately. Shiro's hitting the same headshots, same shots that they were hitting over on the Sojourn earlier, all but getting spawn camped right now.
They haven't touched the door yet. That's the only thing that I've got to say is that if you're going to make yourself this elite team, you've got to go lick the spawn door.
Yeah, and so this right here on the corner as well, like you said, they haven't even really sniffed the altar berth. They're trying to get a room. There's no vacancy. Slothy, the switch on over to the Winston. This might be a little bit of a different story. I like at least how it's panning out thus far. Now a complete, absolute jumping onto Shiro. So that's a solid. That's a 4v5 right now. But Iowa Central is pretty much every ultimate on the board, and Shiro will have to come back here soon. Teleporter out. There's the Coalescence as well, fighting under a bridge. Florida Gateway making a little bit of headway until the signal comes in. Does drop. Jared done. Bandits follows suit, and there's no healing whatsoever on the side of Florida Gateway. They get what? Almost a first point, but close only counts. What did Sepulent say? Hand grenades and shoe horses or something like that? I can't.
Yeah. Yeah. I copied it somewhere. It's bad from Seppi.
Yeah, right. That's fair.
I let him have it. I let him have it when I saw that one.
Whenever he starts it, I'm just like, all
out.
right, just finish it. Just finish it. Molten Core coming out. There you go. And just peppering this area. There's going to be another purchase. 15, 20 seconds of time because not everybody can go across that.
I mean, this is meme central right now for Iowa Central. Photon barrier ready for this overclock. They're not even going to pop it yet. I think they're just going to place it on point once Florida Gateway does get there. Oh my God! Out of the overclock immediately. Chatone is on fire.
Yeah, Slothy, Jesser, both falling. Iowa Central completely covering this one up, and Florida Gateway looks at their last real honest attempt at this. Jester back on over to the Widow. Again, not against this necessarily to try and take a couple early picks. The good news is that Florida Gateway will have pretty much all ultimates up except for the new Widow Maker. Never mind, except for the new Sojourn, and about halfway through onto the Coalescence right now, Chef.
You can push in with the Death Blossom if you go on tempo with the Sound Barrier. That's a good chance for them to get in, but they've got an answering Sound Barrier in their back pocket.
Wow, the Death Blossom right there on point. Not going to get much from that. Trying to go back and forth right here. Jatone falling, so tanks down on both sides. That is going to be at least decent looks for Florida Gateway. Jared trying, and that's just the new spin to win for Shiro, right?
Wow. Okay, so I actually called it. They were not even able to get first point, so that's an easy 3-0 win here for the Tritons of Iowa Central. Yeah, that was That was a game of Overwatch for sure. There is a massive difference in the skill level between the top of the division here with Iowa Central now going to 6-0, and then the rest of the teams below them. This is a very well-oiled machine here. I'd be honestly intrigued to see when they go into playoffs, if they face another team of their caliber, how that will go. Yep. I'm going to be watching from afar, probably, unless I get a chance to cast it. I would be very interested to see a team that's on the same wavelength, the same hive mind that we saw coming out from Iowa Central, because they really did operate. They were all sharing the same synapses there and understood their win conditions in every single fight. That's why they take this easy 3-0 win.
Yeah, we talk about people sharing one brain cell. This is Iowa Central sharing 10 billion brain cells or something like that. I don't know. Complete 3-0 in every single way. Unfortunately, there was like breaths of hope. Much more on the control map, the first map, and much more so, excuse me, on Kings Row on the hybrid map on map number 3. A little bit of back and forth right there, but unfortunately all for naught. Florida Gateway College going to suffer their second loss of the season, which isn't bad. A 4-2 record in the last week of the regular season is not too shabby. It will just have to have the rest of the conclusion of our matches to kind of see where it shakes out when it comes to time to figure out who's going to playoffs, who's getting playing positions, and everything else like that. As it is, we're going to go to a very short break before interview, correct? Interview? I'm looking for it. Yes, very short break before interview, guys. We'll be back with you in just a minute.
I really think that there's been a sorely missed opportunity for developers to take a step back from competition and take a step forward with community. And if they do that, I think we all win, because community, I would argue, is the one thing that no one's trying to solve. We're trying to solve recruitment. We're trying to solve competition. Tell me, where's community? Honestly, any one of you, go ahead. Shout out what's the national community for Scholastic right now. Any title, tell me.
Yeah.
Where do I go? How do I meet and hang out?
Of the
How
storm.
does you?
Community, zero.
There's
Yeah.
nothing. It
That-
doesn't exist anymore. And it doesn't exist statewide. It doesn't exist school-wide. It doesn't exist region-wide. It doesn't exist nationally. It doesn't exist digitally on Twitch. It doesn't exist digitally on Discord. It doesn't exist through any form of skill-based development. It doesn't exist on any form of, skill-based learning or just pure socialization and fandom.
Mhm.
Huge missed opportunity. You want to take their time and make it more efficient, in my opinion. Tell Riot Scholastic politely to stop what they're doing with competitive, and their integration with LCS should be, Twitch, symposiums and summits and conversations and learning and all sorts of wonderful things, and promoting camps and educational learning activities and RSSA sponsored curriculum. That will move the needle. I don't see any of that.
So Chris, that was pretty much the last topic. You kind of wrapped it in a nice package called community. And I was kind of thinking more from an organizer and a broadcaster point of view around growing fandom. And how do we get fandom around collegiate esports to look more like traditional sports across the board? And that helps us go out and sell sponsorships in the place, of which trickles down to all our member schools that we represent. But when we go to brands and we can't check that box of, a billion impressions and a million views, we still are challenged with selling those sponsorships. So my last and final is, do we have any secrets around how to grow fandom or grow community on, let's just start with on campus.
I got the big one real quick.
Okay.
Best way to grow community: food nights. It has nothing to do with playing the game. I'll give you a real life example. We used to do dollar burger night at the University of Cincinnati. We'd just go out to Bar Louie. We used to have dollar burgers every Wednesday. We'd post in at this time those Facebook groups, tell people where to show up. 6 people, 12 people showed up the first week. By the third month, we had 40 plus people coming. And it was the biggest revenue night of the week for Bar Louie every week, purely because of us. But we had friendships, we had relationships, we had roommates, we had all sorts of great, wonderful things come from that. And that translated to our LANs, our club meetings, and everything from that.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing beats food nights.
Just like pro sports, we need to focus on tribalism. And the way that you create tribalism is you have to prioritize in-person experience, in my opinion. I think that there's a lot of companies trying to become unicorn online platforms, but at the end of the day, I think we need pockets and hubs around the country that serve as regional and local hubs. Once you get a group of people together that share their love for the team that is on their campus, they start to develop a bond around that. You can do that online, but it won't be nearly as effective. Professional esports is having this tribalism problem because it's the majority of it's online. It's resulted in fans following players more so than the teams. I mean, that's a pretty broad topic, though. Like, we're starting to see those trends in traditional sports as well start to occur. People will follow LeBron and specific players on different teams to wherever they are. But I think for collegiate specifically, schools need to create meaningful live experiences. And if we're talking explicitly about fandom, you have to make the students on your campus care about the team first. That's the biggest thing. Either you create a level of pride through community engagement, or through the team itself. At a lot of schools, the groundwork is there for this. Like, there are schools like UBC, Ohio State, with Buckeye Gaming Collective that have clubs that number in the 2,000 to 3,000 range, right? So they have a base to begin with. At a school like Maryville, like, we kind of developed it the opposite way. When I came in and started building our esports program, we had 3 kids in our esports club, And so we've kind of built the team, and then the club has followed, which is kind of the opposite for a lot of schools. But I think that we have to develop tribalism, and that starts with meaningful live events. And the more that these events, the longer that these events continue to be like only online, the less effective it is in creating that final goal.
Agreed. Doc, you wrap it up for us, please.
I would just say this: clubs ebb and flow based on their leadership. But if all students, all clubs, all groups are given regular and meaningful invitations to come in, use the space, create what you want out of this, then it will continue to thrive despite the change in leadership. I can just imagine that that Cincy student group with Chris heavy in the leadership there just being amazing. But there's not always someone with his skill set at the helm. So you just need to be open and look for opportunities to serve, even though it can be more difficult, especially in the scheduling of the space. I know a lot of people that don't like anybody else but the players they're recruited to use their space. As much as we can, if we want to build community, we have to open the space to people that we wouldn't normally see in there and let them do the types of things that they want to do.
One more thing, so like on a national level though, if we want to raise the general viewership of all of collegiate esports and not just different pockets, that's a hard one because people watch esports to see people do stuff that they're better than them at, right? So naturally at the collegiate level, we're going to be at a lower level than pro. So it's hard to get people to watch for that reason. But what we can sell are narratives and storylines, matchup histories. And as we start to build a longer history of collegiate esports, I actually truly believe that some of the CLOL storylines are more rich than what exists in Academy and
100%.
and the LCS, but no one's really covering it. No one's really drilling down into it. No one's creating narrative content. So I think that that's the key to getting people to care about it. Like if there's a storyline, people attach themselves to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll add one more thing before we end. The largest organizations on any university campus. This is a very blanket statement. Could be wrong for you. It's right for many. Campus ministry and Greek life are always the largest groups on campus. Why? It's because of the concept of family. Let me explain. With a club or a program, many people identify, oh, I am a gamer, but I am also A, B, C. And usually it's I am A, B, C, and I'm also a gamer. Not everyone is a gamer first and foremost. And you're only going to capture that population if you're promoting purely competitive and purely esports. And so I said food nights and social activities. I'm really stealing from campus ministry and Greek life, because what you want to do to build community at your school is to make it so that the thing that you're doing is the number one thing in the students' lives. Now that's a very selfish thing to say, but it's a true statement. For you to grow the largest community, your community needs to feel that the thing that they're a part of is the most important part of their social campus experience. That's why Greek life is so successful. That's why campus ministry is so successful. And when you treat esports as a program of just competition, practice, and development, that's an outlet. That's not a way of life. Not for...
And we're back. A short break it was indeed. We keep our promises over here at the NJCAAE. FBI Talk with Chef Billy. We're coming hot off the heels of an Iowa Central pretty one-handed victory right here. That was a 3-0 over Florida Gateway College. And now, Chef, we have one of the members of the winning teams because we only have winners in my interview box. That is going to be Cogs. Cogs, are you with us?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm here.
Awesome. Glad to hear. Congratulations on your victory, sir.
Thank you. It meant a lot to be undefeated. It's nice.
That it does. That it does. We'll be talking about that and more. Chef Billy, please take it away, sir. All
right, Symmetra. Let's talk about the Symmetra, the big in the room. How did you guys know that this was going to work so well? Because running up against the quote-unquote meta comp right now, that shouldn't have worked, especially with a Winston to boot. That shouldn't have worked. Tell me the secret behind your success today.
Well, our sim player is like more of a sim reaper main, and we just feel like the sim was really good. And honestly, I think it helped with the monkey a lot because not only does she burn him really fast, she also can charge off his shield, which really helps. Plus, there's something about him where he just knows to like TP behind them, and he'll just get kills like randomly, and it just kind of helps. Like our DPS really, both of them really help take the pressure off.
All right, let's talk about your support duo, Gods of War, and I forget your Kiriko slash. It was Eagles.
Yep.
Sorry, Eagles. They really made Jatone's life very easy today. Not really under any kind of duress. Your tank player was able to take space in a frightening amount of times. How important are they to you? How do you guys get this hive mind? Because you guys seem to be working on. Most people say one brain cell. I say that you guys are working out the same synapse. You guys knew where to go at the same time. Talk about your comms.
So it's mostly just, to be honest, it's mostly just me yelling a lot, like telling everyone what to do. My other healer, Ethan, or Eagles, he helps a lot too. He kind of gives, I'm kind of a big picture guy. He kind of helps me figure out stuff, the small stuff. And Jatone is really our tank. He's really good at just like listening. Like when I tell him we need to go, we're going. When I tell him we need to go in, we're going in. He's just really good at, staying with and communicating where we're doing. And he's really good at getting out and getting in.
All right. So what are your plans for the playoffs? This is the last week of the season. You guys have the perfect season, only dropping one singular map, and that was last week. Mm-hmm. What are your guys' hopes and expectations for the postseason?
It's looking. I feel like we're gonna go. I feel like we can. Our team will go as far as we think we can go. Like it's a confidence thing. If we're all confident that we're gonna win, we're gonna win. That's how I feel, at least. Like we came into this game. The only team that the team we had just played that lost to was the team that we beat last week. So we felt that if we beat them, then we can beat these people. So I don't know. It's just a confidence thing. A lot of our players sometimes get down, even when they're playing really good. They're like, "Oh, I could be playing better," but that's not how you should be thinking about it, right? You should be not thinking about my bad play or good play. Just think about the game at the time, I guess, is how I would say it.
Happens to all of us, happens to everybody at every level of competition. I was having a chat with somebody that won down in Contenders Australia during the Shimada Showdown, ends up not winning in Open Division in America, and thinks that they have just completely bombed out. So yeah, I definitely feel that, and I mean it's a big game, and you guys supporting each other makes my heart happy. Jordan, any last thoughts for him?
Yeah, absolutely. So I just really want to ask, you mentioned about the perfect season right here, just dropping the one map. So maybe not perfect, but I want to ask Cogs, did you really anticipate the squad here, Iowa Central, the Tritons going 6-0 within the regular NJCAAE season?
I had a very good feeling, honestly, because our freshman DPS, Shiro, he's just insane. I don't know. He's crazy on Sojourn. Well, first of all, that character, I'm speaking to Blizzard here, nerf her or you're disrespectful, please. Like,
yeah.
But he really like breathed new life into the system, because a lot of our problems were like DPS problems, and him, Beyblade might not be putting out the most damage, but that's why he's good on utility DPS like Symmetra or May, because like walls are good. But Shiro just pops heads all the time. It's just so much space. And so I think that really gave me like a lot of hope that this season was going to be good. Now, if you would have asked me, would we be undefeated? I don't know about that, but now I'm happy we are,
Absolutely. Not conceited, but confident. I like it, Cogs. I like it. Is there anything going into this playoffs now that you guys are really going to be focusing? Now, no leaked strats here, but is there anything that you guys are really going to be focusing, like you're going to be working on in game, in scrims, or whatever else, while you have a little bit of time to prepare?
Like you guys said, the communication is good, but it could always be better.
Yes.
There's a lot of moments where we'll say one person on our team will be like, "There's a widow," and then maybe 5 seconds later, the other person will see them and they'll go, "There's a widow." So we really need to figure that out.
Is there an echo in here? Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah.
So I think communication could just always get better. But we've really improved with the communication. Like everyone, it's nice because it used to be it was just me yelling a lot. But now everyone's communicating, and it really, really helps. So I think just being communication even better would be the plan, honestly.
In Overwatch, in relationships, in life, people, communication is key. Cogs, thank you so much for giving us a minute of your time and slice the mind. After the match, I want to ask if you have any shout-outs before we get Sean out of here.
My girlfriend, Emma.
Aww.
Yeah, I know.
Is she watching?
Yeah, she should be. I hope so.
Hey. Hey, Emma. Hey, Emma.
And then just, the whole team around me, like, they just really help, it's just, the quality of life, honestly, has just gotten better in the esports team. Everything has gotten better. Last year was a lot of stress, and this year I feel like we're all just really want what's best for everyone else on the team. So it's really nice. So that's what I just want to shout out everyone on the team. And especially Eagles, because he's been here. He's the only other person that was here last year, and so we're feeling really good. So, yeah.
Gotcha. You got any coaches?
Our coach Havoc. He works his butt off. I want to say that he really works his butt off. He's coaching like 6 games when he really, you shouldn't have to coach that many, but he really is coaching. He's coaching Valorant, Rainbow, Overwatch, League. Yeah. So he's really impressive for that. So
we do not have enough time to talk about coaches' roles within esports in North America currently, based on the amount of esports. But Cogs, thank you so much for a minute of your time. Good luck, playoffs and whatnot. God knows you punched that ticket with a 6-0 regular season record.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Back to Chef Billy and I. We're going to be looking at a little bit more Overwatch action later. That is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. It's about 5 p.m. Eastern Standard right now. That is Trinity Valley, Northwestern Michigan. Now, we'll have some League of Legends action here a little bit later, Chef Billy, correct?
I believe so. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing all that Esports U has on the slate for tonight. Let's see. It'll be the ECAC LOL League of Legends Oakland University versus Long Island University. But coming in next for the next round of Overwatch here, last week of the season, it's going to be Clutch Key and Nerdy Bird. They'll be taking our spots here in the broadcast booth. But Jordan, once again, fantastic time with you, my friend.
Always a good time with you, Chef Billy. A big shout out to your production staff. That is Scoots, that is Colton, that is Leighton, that is K-Tad, that is everybody over there behind the scenes making our jobs as casters. Chef Billy and I are just 2 crazy wild guys screaming about esports in our rooms without y'all. You make our job so much caster and we appreciate it. Yes, again, Clutch Key, Nerdy Bird, love this duo. That's coming up here in about an hour, guys. Don't tune away for long. Go, hydrate, go get some food, something like that. Come on back in about an hour for some more Overwatch action.
Not when 55% of the campus body at a Division I school identifies as a gamer in some way, shape, or form. You're not going to touch that 55%. You're going to touch 5%, maybe. You're probably going to touch 0.05% or 0.5% at a Division I school. And so what you really need to do is build that community authentically by, as Doc said about Dan, what are the people prioritizing, and do that. And how do they enjoy their life? What would they find meaningful? Do that. And then do everything else, because the financials and everything else, the planning and all that matters too. And that's why we have a talent problem in Scholastic Esports. But I will wrap up and say, for the national level, Dan's completely right on narrative. But I'm not worried about that, because the only thing we need to build community nationwide is just time. We are 2 generations away from critical mass. And all it takes is that the current generation of students to grow up, get in the professional workforce, and have kids and raise them on the things that they were fans of. It's how baseball grew. It's how basketball grew. It's how rugby and all those other sports grow and sustain.
Cornhole grew.
But in all seriousness, all we need is time. All we need to do is ensure that our products get better, our opportunities become more authentic, accessibility remains open, and monetization remains enough to us to continue to what we're doing and grow.
Hey guys, K-Tad here, and welcome back to the ECAC Top Plays of the Week video. We're in week number 7, and trust me when I tell you, things have only been heating up. These teams are fighting for a chance to make it into the playoffs, and because of that, I mean, there's so much crazy action to get into, and, don't take my word for it. Let's check out the plays. Starting us off, it's a play that'll have you asking yourself, how did he do that? As Melee juggles and ping pongs blighted right off the stage.
Because the projectiles are so ever present, that reflector right there that you just saw is going to be in the back of Melee's mind throughout this set. But right now, Melee's doing a good job of getting around it, has the percent lead, and make it 64 right now on blighted stock. It's still being worked away at the combo setup.
At number 7, Red Ninja is just cleaning up the West as he gets this nice 3K to cap off the series.
Had a lot of fun with it too. How does that win? I don't know. How does that, in any world, how does that possibly win? Here's what I can say, right? You have Big J5 running around in the back line on Roadhog just trying to cause havoc, right? You have a Symmetra teleporting all over the place. You have
Up next, there might just be a 4th member on the squad of RPI as the corner comes in clutch to take them to game number 5.
It's about as good as you're going to see for a team play off the corner wall, and RPI takes a 3-goal lead.
And with that, we have the fastest goal in this matchup so far. We started off with the quickest goal, the least amount of time.
Okay, spoiler-free intro this time. Someone gets a 4K clutch in this round. You just have to guess who.
I feel like the first time we've seen A-side, now it's going to be Wukian with an immediate elimination onto Relay, making it a 5-4, but Onto might be able to, will find the elimination. Onto Louis tying things back up, not for long. Wukian with that operator takes out Safari, a real powerhouse player, has to kiss this round goodbye. UK, they're 3 rounds away, winning their 3rd round and almost tying us back up. What a shot from Wukian there. It is going to be the Blade Storm taken offline, and by that KO, 0-point Blade. Without that Blade Storm, they may be able to win this one. Brown Baller with the 3. Can he find the 4? Jag? No, it's the right click that puts him in. Wukian with a 4K of his own. Win Kentucky's.
In our top half, it's Sonics in his attempt to 9-stock NJCAAE that gives us this next play and this beautiful edge guard.
Things will go swimmingly for themselves as of right now. See Hydra playing at a massive disadvantage, already at 109, but 92 on Sonic. So this was where we saw them actually take that stock against them. It was just a small little upbeat.
Way.
One hit is all it takes.
No, Rabbit!
Way.
Rabbit! Oh my! Sonics is too clean with it!
For number 3, Shrusi's got some things to say as he just pops off for Kings.
So much to bear, and well, too much to bear. Shrusi, why take on 1 defenders when you can take on 2, maybe even all of them?
Why get a hat trick when you can get 5 goals instead? 30 seconds to go. Literally every goal of this game has been from Strucy, and you would go to think, oh, obviously he's got a million shots. That's why he's just been putting on the pressure. Not really. He's 5 for 7. He's really accurate with what he's doing here. Not wasting his time because shots like this, they don't come every day. But for Strucy, it's another walk in the park. Give him the time in the air and he will do things like this.
Somebody call it. Somebody call it. This is unfair.
And in second place this week, it's the perfectly timed EMP into self-destruct combo that completely wipes out Wichita State in the opening map against Johnson and Wynn.
Self-destruct is there. Gentalian and Rogue combining for a massive fight win right there. 95%.
And in our number 1 spot, it's a tour de force that some would say is almost excessive from Nagwin as he shuts the door onto Delaware.
On the right side of the kill feed. Nagwen playing C-Long and doing a great job at it. Oh my goodness, even better! Trying to turn 2 into 3, not able to line it up yet, but there it is. That tour de force is a tour de force to be reckoned with. Nagwen taking out 4 to win the 7th round for UK.
Alright, and that is it. Now, I mean, what did I tell you guys? Things are only getting crazier and crazier, and with this wrapping up, that means there's only 1 more of these videos left to make. That means there's only 4 more weeks of playoffs left on the table that's going to be starting up in just a little bit. And, I mean, what a crazy season it's been, and what a crazy season it's shaping up to be. Special thank you again to our partners at Esports U for providing us that extra broadcast coverage. But if you guys want to stay up to date, I mean, you already know where to go. But hey, if you haven't, if you don't know yet, you want to give us a follow on Twitter at ECAC_esports, and you want to make sure you tune into the action live at twitch.tv/ECAC_esports. We are live on Mondays and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, Wednesdays at 7. Trust me, you guys want to be there. We've only got so much action left in the season. And then, hey, before you know it, we'll be back again right around the corner for fall semester. But once again, I've been KTAD. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you next time.
Well, my name is Darian Wheeler. I'm a junior at Cornell College, and I play for the Overwatch and Smash Ultimate team there. I also play football, and I enjoy playing Ultimate Frisbee as well.
Wow, how do you have time for all that?
I have no idea.
Just gotta prioritize, right?
Yeah.
So how long have you been playing Overwatch and Smash, you said?
Overwatch, I started playing the summer before I came to Cornell, which was in 2019. And since then, I've gone from bronze to master's ranking just by being on the team. And Smash, I started when the game first came out, but I haven't played the game competitively until around the end of last year.
And what made you want to start competing?
At the time, our esports coach, we just started getting into like big tournaments and stuff. And so we went to a tournament where one of the PGR, one of the top 50 players in the world, was appearing, and we played him, and it was not pretty. It was, we got stomped into the dirt. And so that I didn't like that. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna play better, and I'm gonna figure out how to beat someone like that, because that was not fun.
And what have you done to get better at the game? Like, what kind of strategies do you use?
We have weekly practices. We have Monday, Thursday, and Friday. We practice. I play by myself, of course. I go to tournaments, and from these tournaments against good players, I take the film that I get, and I VOD review it, learn what I could have done better, and figure out things like positioning, usage of abilities, that type of thing.
So, what do you think about your team? How does it feel to be a part of an esports team? And do you guys all get along? Are you guys friends?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. We if we're all in the room together, we're just joking around. Which sometimes makes it hard to practice because it's very hard. It's hard to get serious when it's really goofy like that. But I love being on the team. It's like one of the reasons I stayed on the esports team, because we had a director change. Despite the director change, was because I just love the team.
That's really good. You guys support each other and all that. That's awesome. You said you've gone to competitions